Alright, Splinter Cell Double Agent, supercut. We're here. Played the game on normal difficulty. Did most of the objectives. Only really skipped some stuff that was completely unnecessary to even do. But that was just in the JBA headquarters sections. But yeah, we'll let these cutscenes begin.
Alright guys, we're going to silent mode. Get ready. Are you scared?
You can see in the background there evidence of the game being played in the widescreen that it wasn't meant to be played in. Yeah, from that extra character model that was in the background.
Let me lead the way.
And then Sam appearing, disappearing
Just
for
try
a
to
moment there.
aggressive. Look after.
And we go and get this little extra email from Sarah, and then we start the mission. This ended up being a little bit darker on YouTube than I thought it would be, but
Indicate some suspicious activity
it's not
in this area.
like much was really
Mine is
missed.
a simple reconnaissance mission only. You can enter the power
In
plant
this section,
grounds
since
through
it's
the water
just
intake at
sort
the
of
bottom of the lake.
swim
Details on
and
your OPSAT.
listen to
You can count on us, sir.
the conversation, and then get introduced to the mechanics with ice sheets, which are only a thing in this mission, and
There are 2 guards patrolling. Get rid of them smoothly.
let's see if it costs.
Fisher. Just like you would have done it.
Hey, Sarge, that you? But come on, man, cut it out.
And I decided that I would go ahead and just kill this guy, because I didn't really have plans on this being like a no kills or 100% everything
Back on air.
playthrough.
Everything okay? Loud and clear.
I thought we were just here for
Just wanted
observation.
There have been
to get the game recorded and
Lambert, what changes?
get it immortalized, so anytime I didn't want to, or anytime I wanted to play it again, I could
That's the
just watch
case.
the
Junior
YouTube
needs to be pulled
videos
out of the mission.
instead of having to
He
go
is not
through
trained for this. He's
jank.
a liability for both of us.
Impossible. We're in too deep. The mission must go on. Just cover him.
And yeah, here of course just have to go and turn off the electric fence and continue on with this prologue mission, which
Quick, come here and help me.
is not a tutorial. The game does have a tutorial, but I didn't play it because I didn't want to. I think I got pretty much all of the emails recorded. I'm not sure if all of them survived the editing process. I think a lot of the time I ended up cutting them out just because
What are you waiting for? Come here and
there
push
really
me
isn't
up.
much of anything interesting to read in those emails. They're just sometimes just some nonsensical stuff. And here I show that one of those windmills does not have a base for some reason. It's just the spinning part. I don't know why that is.
See that? There is no
But,
way we can go in
yeah.
through the front.
It's
There's
just
got to be a way
the
through the roof
blades.
via the ventilation system. John, I have a special mission for you.
Roger that.
You have to disable the ventilation system by the main entrance to let Fisher infiltrate the plant.
Roger that.
Good. I couldn't stand it much longer in this house. Who in the world will find us here anyway? It's over. Stop.
In this area there is a camera. I'm pretty sure it's invisible. I don't think it can actually detect you anyway. It only exists for when you interact with the computer and open the gate. It plays footage from that camera
I need something.
of the gate opening, but I don't think you can actually
Access
see the
code to
camera.
gate?
Yeah, why not?
It's 1977. Please don't hurt me.
Here we manipulate the guard AI a little bit by turning off the light, and then the guy that caught a glimpse of me earlier notices the lights out, so he wants to come in here to investigate. And it makes it easy to take him out, just like that. Let me go ahead and pick up this flash grenade, even though we don't use it, because I don't think I threw a single grenade in this playthrough. No, I threw 2 smoke grenades. That's it. 2 smoke grenades. But yeah, that's the little bit of the footage that it shows from what I assume is actually live feed from that camera's perspective. But like, you can hear the camera, but I don't think it's actually visible. I think they made it invisible for some reason. But I don't think it can detect you. Like, it'll make the noise, the little buzzing sound like it saw something, but I don't think it actually sets off an alarm. But because of the fact I can hear it, I'm like looking for it here. Can't even see it with the one goggle mode that lets you see electronics, but you know. Here I'm just waiting for an opportune moment to kind of give that guy a wide berth and then go around the other guy.
Ventilation disabled. Fisher, you have 10 minutes.
I almost mess up here
Well
because I
done.
didn't see that
You
guy.
stay put and cover Fisher.
But it worked out because he went over to investigate where he saw me. And I could climb back on up and then go to the next area.
Wait, the way up front is now clear. This will be much quicker. Let me go and check.
I repeat, your role is to cover Sam. Hold your position.
John!
John, answer me. Sam, jump through the vent before it closes again.
What do we do about John?
All we can do is pray that he doesn't blow your cover.
Alert! Alert! We have an intruder! Alert! Alert! We have an intruder!
There's a little bit of jank there since the guy that shoots John didn't actually animate at all. Didn't animate breathing with gun or shooting.
Nobody died in this
Everybody here, proceed as planned. Evacuation begins.
Here, for some reason, I kept thinking I could climb down on that. Like that was where I was supposed to go, but it's just like a little operating room for the catwalk that I'm on.
Lambert, I see a missile. It is armed, just about to be launched.
And then I think I could jump down there, but I can't.
Have your visuals on screen. Uh-oh. We do not have enough time to disarm this missile.
There's no choice.
The good news is that we can sabotage the launch control, but the missile will explode on the pad as soon as you jam the system.
How much time?
For extraction, 60 seconds, max.
Let's do it.
Okay. First, you'll have to open the missile's access hatch. You should find the manual release valve below the hatch on the missile's surface.
Alright, and here, we just kind of drop down to the release valve to open
Now
the
hack
hatch.
into the missile's onboard launch computer and jam the release system. Do that, then get the hell out of there. Sam, the missile's going to kill hundreds of people if you don't hurry up.
We have to go back up the floor we were on to go into the operator's room and extend the bridge. First I have to get rid of this guy so he doesn't see me. And then I have to get rid of the operator so I can hit the button to extend that bridge. For some reason I thought it was on that, but it isn't there. And here I'm just being a little extra cautious, just in case someone sees me in here. But I don't think anyone actually even looks over here. We run over back into this. And we climb the rope. Get back into the Osprey, and this mission is complete.
Sam? What's going on, Lambert?
I broke the news when I pulled him out of Iceland. He didn't take it well. Nobody would, losing their own flesh and blood. And he'd never be the same again. They say if it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger. Well, Sam didn't die. He had nothing to lose anymore, so he took the most dangerous mission of his career. That's how he ended up in Ellsworth Penitentiary. He was treated the same as anybody else. No better, no worse. It was no midnight run, for damn sure. He didn't need much help to look like hell, not since Sarah, his daughter, was killed. You hate to see a good man fall so far.
Is that all you got? Come on!
Me, I hope this mission would let him pull himself back together. We needed him. Prison. A hell of a place to save a man's life.
Alright. Next mission is Ellsworth Penitentiary. Here I'm just showing that we got those progression unlocks.
We put Sam in
And
Ellsworth
even though we
prison, not
unlocked
because
those,
he
we
was a
won't
thief
have
or a
them
murderer,
in this mission.
but because we needed him there. One of the prisoners, a man named Jamie Washington, was suspected of having ties to a domestic terrorist group whose name had started coming up on Third Echelon's radar. We needed to know what they were doing, and that meant getting someone on the inside. That's why we wanted Sam close to Washington, to gain his trust and help him escape, and to go with him right into the belly of the beast.
Fisher. There.
So yeah,
Jamie.
we
Listen
won't
up.
have any of our equipment
I got a
except a
plan to
knife
get
on
out.
this mission.
That is if you want to get out. Because I don't think that tunnel you spent the last 6 months digging is going to do the trick.
I'm listening.
Smart. Now here's the deal. I'm going to start a little ruckus down this way. While I'm doing that, you go do the same thing over in Block A.
Where?
You know, the main tower block. Open the cell doors in there, and this place will really be rocky. Lefferts and McCullers will be doing the same thing over in C and D, which means that if you screw me, there are gonna be a lot of people looking for you.
Got it.
You better. Now take this stuff and get your ass moving. It's time to make some noise.
Alright. So yeah, this is pretty interesting mission. In version 1 of the game, it's a lot more complicated.
You cheating me? No, I'm not cheating.
I'm debating playing that one, but
Jamie, I'm warning you.
I'm not sure how well PS2 emulation or even GameCube emulation does that game, so I'll have to look into it.
I thought this was closed.
Alright.
I'm sure this wasn't open earlier.
Then little jump cut there. That was not meant to look like that, but that's how it looks, and I'm not going to fix it because it's kind of funny.
How'd you get in here? Wait, I recognize you.
Good.
This guy's lips are animated for some reason.
It's right over there.
The code.
1403. Same as the code for the door downstairs. I know the guys were rough on you coming in, but this isn't the answer. Give me the knife.
I didn't actually notice that in gameplay when I was doing the editing. I was like, oh, it's funny that his lips are animated. Anyway, grab some smoke grenades here. Unless you have a lot of patience, I think you need at least one of those for the next room. Well, not the next room, but the cafeteria. cut the power to the metal detector. And then that guy couldn't see me because of the smoke. We do our first from cover takedown here. Do quite a few of these because it's a pretty cool animation. And then we go through the phone room into the cafeteria. Here, I mean, if you just kind of hold the wall and go over to the counter and then jump up to the catwalk here, it's pretty easy to get through this room without getting identified. You just kind of have to wait this guy out. I did find it kind of funny that the way that this area is programmed, that all those guards down there are having a firefight with the prisoners, but these guys up here are basically completely unaware to that. And they seem to only exist to be a nuisance. So that guy couldn't see me because of the smoke. He would have saw me on the stairs without that smoke. One thing I didn't like about this game that isn't really an issue with version 1 of the game on PS2 and GameCube is that the areas where it's supposed to be dark most of the time really don't look any different from areas where it's supposed to be bright. And it seems to just be completely arbitrary whether the little light indicator on Sam's back or in the bottom left of the screen will be green or yellow. But from what I've seen playing the game, there is areas where it is actually darker than others, even when it's green or when that light indicator is yellow. Because there are times where guards will see you even in an area where you have the green status, the light indicator, and other times where they won't see you. And there's times where you may have the yellow indicator, but they don't see you to where they're going to start shooting right away. They just get a little suspicious of something. It's not, I don't know, they didn't really do a good job with the lighting, and considering how much more they had to play with Unreal 3, it's kind of a disappointment, but it is what it is. Then we distract him with a whistle while we wait for him to turn his back and kind of walk away. Then we go for the knockout on him.
What was that?
Then we move on upstairs. I thought about using the riot shotgun, but I decided against it because I really didn't need to use it. Do this objective. The last whole section of the mission.
Pretty good there, Sam. The guards are gonna have their hands full. That means you, me, and a few of my other buddies have a shot at walking out of here.
Here, for some reason, I didn't notice that the door code is still 1403, so I packed it anyway.
Jamie.
Thanks, buddy. You handled yourself pretty well. If you're looking for some place to go, I'm just keeping you. This place has turned into a war zone.
Here I
How are we gonna
forget
get out of here now?
that I'm supposed to go up
Hang on, Jamie. That gives me an idea.
Helicopter.
onto that building
Yeah, through the wall. Let's take it.
because I,
Run!
for some reason, thought that we went onto this building, but then I remembered that it was down here. And we take that helicopter. I get identified as an intruder, get shot at, but I don't think the game actually counted this against me here. Oddly enough. And then we complete that mission. Then we move on to JBA Headquarters 1, where we will actually have the
Okay, Sam, here's the
ultrasonic
deal.
emitter like we're
I've got some
supposed to
friends.
because of the patch.
They call themselves John Brown's Army. We're gonna go meet up with them. I can get you in with us, if you're interested. And I'm thinking you just might be.
So yeah, you don't have to do any of this stuff in JBA Headquarters. All the objectives are optional. But if you don't
Follow
do
me,
them,
Sam.
you'll lose a lot of trust with JBA.
Welcome to your new home.
And same goes for any
Most of the
NSA
compound's
objective you
off-limits
have.
until Emile Dufresne, that's
If you
the
don't do
boss,
them here,
signs off
you'll
on
lose a
it.
lot of trust.
But I can at least take you to your quarters and show you around a bit.
Got it.
Henderson, Sully, get over here and help escort the fresh meat.
Welcome back, Washington. Who's your little prison friend?
This is Sam Fisher. He helped bust me out. He's gonna be just fine.
All right, Fisher. Just don't screw up. You and I won't have any problems. You got it?
Got it.
Follow me, Sam.
So yeah, pretty much we just have to kind of
You'll be bunking in here,
take
Sam.
care of whatever
You don't
goals
snore.
we have to.
Golden, what the hell are you doing here? Get back to your post, or you'll end up in the furnace. You got that?
Sorry, sir.
Fisher, you're with me. Come along.
Catch you later. I was supposed to be in the server room 5 minutes ago anyway.
What do you want me to do?
Die, but that's not an option.
Listen, Moose.
It's Moss. Get it right or pay the price. Just shut up and follow me. Emil says to see if you'll be useful in the field. We're gonna need a safe cracker. Complete the training course and open the safe at the end.
Alright.
There's one in there. Think you can handle that? Now when I get back, I expect the safe to be open and you to be here. Got it?
Got it.
So, once Moss opens the door and walks away, there we go. We have 25 minutes to complete all of our objectives. So, I used to think that you'd have to wait for that to count down completely.
Come on.
Before you could progress, but I think there's only one JVA mission where you actually have to wait for the timer to count down completely before you can move on. But yeah, getting to the safe and opening it isn't too difficult. It's only difficult if you're playing on PC and you're not used to having to do the safe cracking minigame. It's difficult on PC because you can't really easily control how fast you're rotating the tumblers, and so you mess up a lot more than you actually mean to. On a controller, I'm pretty sure that it's takes pretty good advantage of the analog controls for the rotating of the tumblers. And so you can actually rotate them at a speed that you want to and not accidentally spin them too fast and mess up. But getting past these lasers isn't anything too difficult. They don't move super fast, and they also don't really have any overly complicated patterns. Here's the only one that's kind of complicated, and it's just because I ended up arriving here right when that one was coming towards me. And I probably could have just made it here if I just jumped and just went for it, but I decided I'll just wait and then continue on when it was completely clear. The safe cracking mini game, you get this little, I guess, ultrasound, and then you, on PC, kind of just have to tap when you get close to the position the tumbler's supposed to set in. And there I messed up, and so I just like, okay, I'll try rotating the other way, and I'll try rotating the other way again because I messed up, and it's little taps. And then finally, on the last tumbler, I'm still being safe, and I don't have to because I forgot that you can just freely spin that last tumbler into position, and once that's in position, it immediately stops the mini game because you've completed it. So now, I think I do the server room next. Actually, I think I spend a few moments looking for a file cabinet, because I kept thinking for some reason that there was one over here, but there is no file cabinet over here. Then I remember at some point that the file cabinet I'm looking for is in like a little medical room. Over there. So I go into there and then we
I'm Enrica.
meet Enrica.
I'd love to chat, but I'm a little busy. You've managed to impress Emil with your credentials, though. He's going to ask you to hijack a supertanker for him. Come back another time, please. Duty calls.
I tried to follow her in before the door closed, because I'm pretty sure you can do that, but I was too slow.
Hurry.
Let me get some medical files here, of course. Then we leave. Then go down to the server room. Except I ended up getting turned around and didn't go down to the server room because I think I was still looking for more filing cabinets, but there aren't any others I think you have access to in this mission. I think it's just that single one with the medical. Oh no, I remember there is one in the server room that I have to get creative to get to. Alright, so here, I think I make a little mistake, but I kept it in the footage because it was kind of funny. I completely forgot that there's this one guy that goes in and out of the server room, and I just opened the door right into him.
Sorry, but you're not authorized to be in.
Yeah, Jamie just... So I decided, okay, I'll just load the quick save. And it ended up being all the way back here. So yeah, we tried this again. We'll hack into this server room area, and then we go back down to where we were. And this time we're a bit more careful about accidentally walking into someone. I thought about hiding in there, but I decided to hide under this table instead.
Look, jackass, next time you don't call me until you're ready. When I get back, either your server is up and running or I bring a meal down here. Dumbasses.
Then once Jamie walks away, we go for getting into the server room for real.
So what do you do?
I tried to remount the drive.
Why the hell did you do that?
That's the procedure, right?
That's part of the procedure. Did you run all the diagnostics?
Not all of them. I mean, it seemed pretty obvious.
Obvious my ass. Next time, you do a full diagnostic. Great, isn't it? Now go set up the diagnostic suite and hurry.
I had a little bit of trouble here because they kept seeing me underneath them, and it was kind of frustrating, so I had to kind of figure out exactly what path to take so they wouldn't inadvertently see me underneath them.
Always the same. It's perfect until somebody decides to check up on you. Then it all goes to hell. I wish they'd all just shut up and let me do my job.
And here I try to get that filing cabinet, even though he's right there. For some reason I thought I could do it. But yeah, immediately I get spotted. So we just ignore that for now. We come back for that later. I think Moss ends up going into the training course the last 12 minutes, maybe last 10 minutes maybe of the countdown. And if you go back into there at that time, it completes JBA 1, and you move on to the Sea of Okhotsk mission to seize the RSS Rublev supertanker.
Jesus. You'd think they'd take better care of this place.
Tell me about it. It's like they don't care if it all falls apart.
And we get to weld it back together. At least we're almost done.
Hallelujah, frick hallelujah.
Yeah, getting up to the roof, not too bad, conveniently. They took that exhaust fan off to weld it back up, so we could actually get to the roof.
Moss here. How's everything looking?
All clear.
You sure about that? We just got a new variable in the equation. If anything changes, you let me know.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, not being able to knock anyone out during these JBA missions does make it pretty difficult. But it's not impossible.
Gimme.
So we open up the antenna service panel and we debug it. And I tried a few different things to get past this guy. He's a pretty difficult guy to get around because he does walk around, and if you don't have the ultrasonic emitter, you have a very tight window to get to this trapdoor, open it, and then go down. That's one of the major flaws if you buy this game on PC and you don't get the patches that were never put on the Steam version or any other PC release. You just have to get them from, I think originally the first time I ever got those patches, I got them off of a Ubisoft webpage, but it's not, I don't know if that one's still up, but now I just rely on people on the Steam community discussion pages about this game, having current and up-to-date information about those patches. I did hear tale of a community made 2.1 or 3.1 or something of that kind of patch that did even more fixes that Ubisoft never did for the game. But I didn't look into it any further than the little bit I read about it supposedly existing, and so I didn't play with that. I think I just had the whatever version this is, the 1.2 or the 2.0 or whatever it is for the PC version of the game, and here I'm going back in the server room to get those other, that other file. Yeah, so Moss seems like Moss's routine is that at 12 minutes on the countdown he'll leave his area that he's normally in that you can't even get access to in this first GBA mission, and then he'll go to the exercise training course, and then by maybe 10.5 minutes or so he'll be in there waiting for you to go back. And there I messed up because I just wasn't going fast enough, but I just book it this time, and then this becomes a bit of a trial and error thing as well, because I wasn't really sure how exactly to use the ultrasonic emitter to get this guy to go where I wanted him and do what I wanted him to do. Pretty much I just wanted him to go into that corner over there. So I find out, okay, he gets up and immediately looks to his left. So then what I do is I try this, where I'll kind of just get as close as I can to him, switch shoulders, and then I'll hit that wall right there, close to him, or that cabinet there, and then I'll get close to him again and fire it at that wall. The ultrasonic emitter will make a noise at the location you're aiming it at. I don't really know what the range on it is or how exactly that works, but yeah, I get the file out of there, and then I go out and I go right for the exercise room once I'm safely out of here.
The longer you make me wait, the less I like you. You know that? Now let's see if you're worth waiting for. Not bad. Now let's see how you handle something a little tougher. Come on.
So yeah, Moss takes us to downstairs area where there's like a little torture room, and they have the pilot of the news helicopter there. So we're gonna go down there, and then Emile Dufresne is gonna task us with killing the pilot, which I think Sam would do, given the circumstances. He's got to build up trust with these people, so I think that he would have done it. You could, of course, just not shoot him and just like shoot the wall instead.
I'd like you to meet Cole Yeager. You might recognize him as the pilot from the news helicopter that Jamie was stupid enough to bring here.
But
here you go.
What do you want me to do with this?
What do you think?
But even if we don't kill him, he dies anyway, so that's another reason I think Sam wouldn't do it because if he's gonna die anyway.
Still, I'm not convinced.
Enrica mentioned something about a super tanker.
Did she? Okay, I'll give you one chance to prove yourself. Your flight leaves in 30 minutes.
Where am I going?
You'll find out when you get there.
So yeah, the next mission is sort of the first little experience of the shtick of most of these.
This is your first
most
real test
of
for us,
these
Mr. Fisher. Jamie has spoken very highly of your talents.
missions in this game.
Don't make a liar out of him.
Because quite a few of them take
Enrica is
place
in charge of this
during the
operation.
daytime.
She'll be handling it
I
remotely.
mean, even in JPA 1.
And I expect you will obey any orders she gives you. Right now, she's a great deal more valuable to our organization than you are. Don't forget that. But with your experience, I don't expect you will. Good luck.
Even in JPA 1, there was the challenge of being on the roof. It's all sunlit still. There's really nowhere to hide. But there's only 2 guards on the roof, so it wasn't that bad. Also, another thing this game added was quick time events. There's only 2 of them in the game. They're here with the parachute, and then the next mission in Shanghai with the helicopter. But that's it. There's no other quick time events that I'm aware of in the game. They were very much a product of their time, though. A lot of games had them, even when it was a bit jarring. But, I mean, I didn't really feel like they overstayed their welcome in this game. They had a little bit of flair, a little bit of drama.
Sam, can you hear me?
Could you tell me exactly what I'm doing here?
I told you already. You're hijacking a super tanker.
Where's my equipment coming from?
You're asking too many questions.
Problem because I didn't have the graphical settings turned up completely by mistake in this part still, or if it was something to do with the actual blizzard effect itself, just making the models unload. But regardless, it was pretty annoying because it was a lot to keep track of whether or not I was going to walk into someone by accident, because I mean, they wouldn't even have like heat signatures. Like, I would be able to pull up the radar and I could see they're on the radar, but I couldn't see them any other way than that. So it made taking over the Rublev very, very frustrating. But I can't remember if that's just a normal problem in the game, or if that was just something that just happened this playthrough. I don't remember. And here I'm trying to find a guy, and I cannot find him. I don't know. I think he's in that tent back there. I just don't know how exactly he caught a glimpse of me. But finally, after waiting a few moments, I do go over to the detonator for the explosive, and then I blow it up. And then I move on to the next part of the mission after that. But yeah, I just wanted to be very cautious, so I just was taking it slow and cautious, trying to see if I could find a guy that would end up seeing me, and again, I get seen there a little bit, but don't know who saw me. But the little noise that plays when someone gets suspicious kept playing. Then I look to my left and I see there's a guy there. He can't see me, and then I just go for the next level because it was going to be too annoying trying to deal with those people. So we just go for getting out.
Yeah, whatever works. Oh, better get going. Looks like the locals are getting all worked up.
So we swim into this void here, and then we load the next area. Here we just kind of play a little safe with the ice. And then I decide that I'm going to kill this guy here.
What about my life?
Then I surface at the other hole I made over here, and then we go ahead and take out that other guy. We get seen by him, but I decide I don't really care because it didn't spread any further than just him, so it wasn't really that big of a deal to me. And I forgot that there's a guy on a little boat to my right there, so I end up deciding that there's a really quick and easy way to get rid of him. So we just shoot him in the head.
I'm almost on the deck.
That's it. I'm running the show now. It's time to see what James' friend can do. Says who? Says Emil, so sip it. Now clear out enough mercenaries and our buddy Masood can take over the ship. I'll let you know when you've bagged your limit.
This doesn't make any sense.
Fisher, I'm detecting multiple heat signatures. So shut the hell up and start the body count already. Have fun. I'll be watching. Check your radar for their location, Sam.
Sounds like a party.
Container out of my way! Where do you expect me to put it? I don't care, but you're making it impossible for us to do our jobs. Until the captain says otherwise, the crate stays put.
So yeah, as you could have maybe saw there, for a few moments that guy's heat signature was visible and then it disappeared as he walked into the snow. So I don't know what happens with that, but
I give up. Yet I see your hand inching towards your pistol.
Stop! What you want to know?
Tell me about the man in charge.
Go fuck! Ex-Sovietan. Very good leader. A little unstable.
Where?
Probably the bridge.
I think that I think what happens is that the game might unload the character model, that way you can't just use the thermal vision to basically just eliminate everyone very easily. I don't know why that is the case, because to me the whole point of having equipment like this is so you can take advantage of certain situations like this. But I don't really have any other explanation. This is the only mission in the game where I can think of that the guard's character models just unload randomly. And with that guy getting stuck in his run animation on the stairs, yeah. And this probably took me, I don't even know how many tries to actually finally get right. It had to have been at least 20. I had to try it over and over again until I made some real progress on getting anywhere on it. I decided to try to climb up there to see if I could get an angle on anyone with thermal vision, but finally what's about to happen here sold me on the fact that their character models just unload, because he was there on the stairs and then now he's just completely gone. You can't see a heat signature at all. And then there he is. And so I was like, okay, well, try again with the hit thermals. No heat signature. Oh, and then he just pops in. Very, very strange behavior. But I mean, you can see there's a lot of popping going on. Yeah, just like the static props too. So, and that guy just kind of popped in as well. So we pop him in the head. And that guy. Get into a little bit of a combat situation here. I know there's a guy back there, but I can't see him. The combat music fades out, and then we are back to normal, and eventually here we'll be able to get a visual on this guy up there and take him out, then we can move on. And see, once that snow effect goes out, a lot of stuff popped in, so I'm pretty sure that what happens and what has to be happening is when there's that heavy snow, the character models past a certain distance just get unloaded.
Hang on. You need to prevent the crew from sending a distress signal.
The control tower.
Good idea. The communication antennas are right at the top. Think you can get up there and destroy them?
I ended up taking the slow way here to get to this next area. I don't know why I did this, but it's how I went there. I could have just went up the stairs where that guy was taken out, but I decided to just do this and go this way.
I just got confirmation from Emil. We need the crew out of the way. You have fentanyl gas in your gear. Now if you release it at the chimney entrance, it'll spread to the rest of the tower. Look for some funnels. They should give you access to the ventilation system. From there you can spread the fentanyl gas.
Yeah, so we have to use our fentanyl gas grenade to take out the bridge crew. But before we do that, we have to contact Lambert, and then we have to turn off the communication array. This is a good example of the game having optional and missable objectives, but they're done in such a way that really they're not all that missable. The only way you'd miss contacting Lambert is if you turned off the communication array before contacting him. But it's just you'd have to actively make the decision to do that yourself. And so, you know, I just don't, it's not really all that missable. But yeah, I mean, I guess if you just didn't want to hack this to do it, then by all means, but it does, of course, mean you lose trust.
Sam,
So.
good work. We managed to locate you.
What do I do?
You need to keep building up their trust. Cannot blow your cover now.
Lambert, they're asking me to clean up the place.
I know.
But yeah, this whole section is pretty simple. It's just a matter of having the game arbitrarily make it more difficult by having the guards kind of just disappear and then reappear right in front of you.
Have a look around for the air ventilation system. You can pump in the gas from there.
Knockout gas inside a building can concentrate to lethal level. Rika, this can get very nasty.
That's the goddamned idea.
And so, Sam decides that it's time to deploy the fentanyl gas to kill these people. Then we move on. I have some trouble with this event here because for some reason they decided that instead of having an interact button to get into the vents, it's just, you have to just walk into it with the right speed. Which sometimes results in just walking into the wall awkwardly.
Fisher, your friend, the captain, has become a liability. Take him out before he does something stupid.
He seems to have escaped to the bow of the ship. Follow him there.
So we kind of just look around the bridge and then we go back. And this was the area that we were at earlier with the antenna. And we go back through the bridge and go the way we're supposed to. Do some acrobatics here, drop down, and then drop down again. This crane always fascinated me because it just does that on its own. There's no operator in that crane. It's just doing that on its own. And here we have another situation where I have to try to cautiously proceed. I didn't see that guy initially. Then I have trouble seeing him because of the snow. He unloads like right there. And then I take off my thermals and then I can see him. And then I caught a glimpse of that guy up there. Then I can't see him in thermals. I know he's up there. I think maybe I just barely saw him. Didn't really translate too well in the video that his thermal signature was there, but I must have saw him. I shot him and I got him, I guess. And I know there's one more guy. And so I take the opportunity to take him out now before things get worse with the snow. And I was pretty sure that that was everyone on this portion of the deck, and that all the other people are on the lower decks, but I just kind of play it safe by having my weapon ready as I move and checking my corners. completely unnecessary, completely extra, but in the moment it made sense to try to make sure everything was as secure as it possibly could be before I progressed. Then we go down to the lower decks.
My ship is not yours to take, terrorist. I'll sink it before I let you have it.
I learned the second.
Captain, go! I'll hold it here. Go!
I think this is like the only time I fired the pistol right at this guy's head. Didn't use it in any other situation, at least for shooting it. I only use it to disable lights and cameras. I didn't really hardly shoot anyone. Well, Moss says that there's one guy left, but there's actually two and the captain. That's always been something that's been weird to me. But I don't know, maybe you just can't count. Because there's that guy right here. Maybe I do shoot at him too. I do. Okay, so I fired the pistol twice at someone.
That was very long and messy, but at least it's done. Listen up, Fisher. Masood's afraid the captain's gonna take the ship to the bottom, so you need to take care of him before he can do
So
that.
yeah,
Then you can extract.
there was the other guy. I was pretty sure there was one more, but I wasn't certain exactly where he would be. But I guess he wanted to investigate his buddy. And so he was going down the stairs when I was going up.
Are you ready to die? I'm ready. I'm ready.
And then here,
Sam, you're gonna have to get in
I
behind him.
end up
Be careful. Be careful.
demonstrating how easy it is to get him to throw that flare down into the oil or whatever down there. He didn't even barely just get a glimpse of me, and he threw it down there, so. Then we get behind him and we grab him and we take care of him.
You're done, Fisher. It's time to leave and let someone else take over.
The ship is clean. Give Masood the green light to board. There's a helicopter waiting for you on the deck. We got a situation in Shanghai and we need you there right now. Please, hurry up. There's no time.
This doesn't make any sense.
It does. More than you know.
So now, we go to Shanghai. This is sort of an important mission for this game because this being developed by at the time in 2008 or whatever, the then new
Good work, Fisher.
Ubisoft Shanghai.
Masood Ibn Yusuf will take over from here. I need you elsewhere.
This was a big
We're going
deal
to Shanghai, you and I. There's a Pakistani
for
nuclear
them
scientist
to
there
have
who's selling some very useful information.
this
We're going to meet with him and get that information.
mission in the
If he's
game
lucky,
and
we'll
be
even
in
pay him
Shanghai.
for it. I'll see you in Shanghai.
I always kind of thought well, one second. So I always thought it was a weird decision by Ubisoft to give this version of the game on Unreal 3 to the new Ubisoft Shanghai team, instead of letting the people at Ubisoft Montreal that did Chaos Theory the reins of this one, which, I mean, from what I've seen of version 1 of the game, well, obviously it doesn't look as good visually. I think it just plays better since it retained a lot more of the mechanics of Chaos Theory while building on those. Falls onto the table. And yeah. Then we go down to the meeting down here. And this part I did think was pretty cool because you kind of have to quickly get out of the way.
I'll come down 100 and you come up 100. I am being generous. But how do we know it works? Relax. We'll test it in Cozumel first. Fisher,
The helicopter, you have to get away with the helicopter before its searchlight sees you. One of the guys that, to my understanding, Masood sends to investigate Laundry Room will pop open this vent here, and we'll just go ahead and just pull him out and say goodbye to him. Then then it's just a matter of getting through the laundry and up into the meeting room so we can get the red mercury. I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to be able to climb over that half wall, but the game just would not let me. We knock out that guy, then we use the elevator to go up. There's a few different ways that we can get out of the laundry, at least in one other. Usually I go the other way, but this time I decided just to use the elevator. That guy tells us that he's got control of the security camera, so we use his computer over here and we disable those security cameras.
No idea, but the girl, gorgeous voice. She wears a silky red gown.
Crack the safe open.
Obviously, she asked for my key. Obviously. More? Please. Mushroom? No.
Here I'm struggling with this dang second tumbler because it just won't go into position, and so I just start the whole thing over. And then I finally get it.
I got it, Ishmael.
What is it?
I was hoping you'd know. Fisher, where are you? On my way to Oslo.
Fisher, I'm on my way.
This was kind of funny because for some reason there was just a guard right in that doorway. So we quick load and we try to be aware of that happening, and for some reason he's not there this time. He's all the way on the other side of the hallway.
On my way to Oswald's room. I'm almost there.
Get the notes quickly.
And then, for some reason, I forgot you have to go up that ladder to go to the next area. I thought there was another way to get there. And so I end up wasting a little bit of time taking out this guard and another guard on this floor. It is a little bit funny though, because of the fact that that announcer will say in about 20 seconds we have a surprise, and well, 20 seconds have just passed and nothing's happening. So I run around here looking for a way to progress, and eventually I just end up taking out this other guard, and then I remember that I have to find a way to get to those elevators or something, and then we do eventually get there. We just run around this ring here, and then we end up going around once more. There we go, and we go up the ladder finally. I don't know why I forgot that this was where the ladder was, but I just completely forgot that it was here, so. Then the countdown starts for memory. And we can go down the elevators as people come and go inside of them. Here's something kind of funny that's about to happen. When that elevator comes up, I try to get down onto it, and for some reason Sam rolls, and he rolls right to his death, and we get to hear the very unfortunate sounding scream. So then we just cut to me being on the elevator, and we progress. We have to disable that light and the other light. Then we have to run across and quickly get into the shadows here. Now I'm just double checking the room. I noticed that's 2405 I'm right next to, so get to this guard, then get to this room.
I don't understand this one-up thing between Masood and me.
Me neither. They share all their information anyway.
I think this is the only time I use the optic cable, and I can not even see anything, so I immediately just put it away. So yeah, Masood sends in some of his own guys to steal Dr. Swat's notes, but we don't. Really have the time or the patience to deal with anything with them, so we just kind of knock them out as we go. I mean, these guys just kind of appear out of nowhere. I don't even know where that guy came from. I don't know if he was the guy in the hallway and he came in. But I decided just to use a sticky shocker on him. Then I take out this guy. Flashlight there. That is pretty good framing by the developers to have that flashlight pointing at this safe. I know the idea was that the guy that was trying to crack it before us was using it to see what he was doing, but it's a good way to diegetically point you towards what you need to use. So then I was gonna kill Dr. SWAT, but the problem was that I don't know if he's supposed to come into the room at some point later, or if the game just sort of spawns him in. Because there's another guard that I'm about to encounter, but I think that it's actually Dr. SWAT. But it's the same character model as the other guards, so it's, I don't know. I couldn't really tell you. But the game's sort of prompting me at the option to kill Dr. SWAT down there, and so I'm assuming that this is Dr. SWAT. I just knock him out. As soon as I knock him out, the game doesn't have that NSA trust meter anymore. I could still kill him, but I don't realize that it's him because, again, it's the same character model as Dr. SWAT, so, or, you know, as the other guards. So if it is him, very bad decision by the developers to have it be the same exact character model as the other three people. We go ahead and just accept not killing Dr. SWAT, and then, well, it impacted our trust with the NSA a little bit. It's not that big of a deal. So
I had a feeling you'd be a useful addition from the moment Jamie brought you to us. Good work obtaining those notes.
JBA
I'm not sure who else I could have trusted to get them. Enrica will no doubt find them very useful for her work, which is, of course, at the core of what the JBA is doing. I'm sure she'll have more to say to you about it once we're back in New York. Just be careful, Fisher. I need her happy and productive, at least for now.
So, yeah, JBA 2, once again, it's more sneaking around the headquarters. We do have a little chat with Lambert here. There's a lot of marketing plant stuff in here. There's a lot of Nivea for Men, Nokia, Philips, product placement, the Chrysler 300 that Lambert drives, all officially licensed and put in the game to try to advertise to you.
Now throw in the fact that what you stole in Shanghai was red mercury.
Should I just roll a grenade under the conference table?
I wish you could, but if you take out Emil, we risk losing Masood and Takfir, and we need to get all of them at once.
Too bad.
You're telling me. Your pal Emil has a nuke starter kit. His buddy Masood will use that tanker to deliver it, and we have to wait until we have all the pieces of the puzzle.
He's not my pal.
Glad to hear that, because I was starting to feel unloved. I need you to break into his office and get the specs on what he's doing. I'll contact you as soon as I can.
That works.
I will. I'm not going to leave you out here on your own.
So yeah, we walk away from Lambert, and then we go back into the compound's walls here.
What are you doing there, swatting flies?
Well, if I don't practice, I'll get rusty.
For some reason, I decided to crawl under this and then roll out the side. I don't know why I wanted to do this. It was just kind of funny.
There you are. Normally, I don't have to look this hard for a man.
So?
Forget it. Come on, there are some mines I need you to assemble. Oh, before I forget, Snigoski, you know the pilot, he didn't make it. If you could get his body out of the infirmary and down
We
to the
follow
furnace room
Enrique,
before
and then
he
we
gets
go
right, really appreciate it.
Piece of cake.
and do the
If you
mine
get a chance, that would be great.
building mini games. I ended up not doing that because I didn't really feel like doing it, and the only other reason you'd have to do it is if you didn't have
You could take care of it.
high enough trust with the JBA.
Your faith in me is touching.
Thanks. I need to run. Emil wants to see me in his office, but I'll be back as soon as I can.
I'll do my best.
I'm sure you'll do great.
So yeah, up here, got the mine assembly thing.
Villa Blanca.
And then I try to get her
Thanks.
voice recorded for the voice lock, but it's not long enough of a sample.
Emil, I was just headed up to your office.
But she ends up bumping into Emil on the stairs as it's programmed to happen.
I hope he's got a steady hand.
Me too. But that's not what I wanted to talk to you about. Are you sure we need to test the bomb in Cozumel like this?
Absolutely. We need to send a message to the world.
But we can test the detonator without killing all of those people.
We'll be killing a lot more later. Trust me.
I was struggling with the full sample for both until they spoke more than 2 sentences. And Moss just sort of appears, and then for some reason I wasn't visible. And then he notices that they're talking. I don't know what was going on with the light meter there. It kept going yellow. But Moss never reacted to anything I was doing. So then I decided to just go ahead and start doing the mine building, and then I do a nice little jump cut here because it's the same thing 10 times in a row, so it's not really all that interesting to watch. So nice little blend cut there, just like that. There's 10 mines made. Then we can progress on to the next part of the level. Use Emil's voice recording and get through that voice lock. And then we take a little bit of a detour from the main mission to go into the room Enrique's working in to get some more profile information on JVA members. If I ever do play this game again, I'm just not even gonna worry about doing any of this because I've never once even read or been compelled to read any of the profile information on the OPSAT, so it's completely useless to me. It's only really there to build up your trust with the NSA if it gets low and you don't have another way to do it, but it's not that dire. You can just play the game and never do any of this, and it won't really impact anything. This part I kind of struggled with a little bit because it's, once again, it's annoying having to try to learn guard patterns and just having to deal with the fact that they're, you can't knock them out in these missions, so you just have to kind of figure it out. So we do some more experimenting with the ultrasonic emitter to try to figure out ways to make it easier. Turn off this light. We pick this lock. Then we get, I think there's two filing cabinets in here right next to each other basically. And yeah, I mean it's just, yeah, I just don't, I don't know. Maybe not having the full trust meter that I'll get from doing this. Maybe I would have regretted not having it, but the game crashed, so I had to do a jump cut, and then yeah, that was, thankfully I had just saved, so I didn't really lose any progress in the mission. I would have been mad if I had to replay anything significant. So this guy for some reason just wouldn't react to the ultrasonic emitter and also the radio that was playing before, even though he's bobbing his head like it's playing. It's not, at least not audible for me, because something with the game reloading in that audio asset not currently playing. We do finally get an opportunity to get past them, so we take it, and then we go into Enrique's room, get one more filing cabinet from this area. Then we go out the bathroom window from here and go across the outside portion to get into Emil's office. We drop down out here, and then we just kind of book it across and up onto the balcony. Then there was a little bit of trial and error at this part because
Let's just take one look.
For some reason, after Emil and Jamie had their talk, Emil got suspicious of something twice, but I don't know what it was, because I didn't do anything. I think I tried to do something a bit funny and silly here. To try to do something early. But they end up seeing me, so I have to retry. Yeah, I tried to get Jamie's voice on the recorder. Didn't really work out. So we reloaded and we tried to look around for any other ways, any other spots that we could hide. But then I realized the game's programmed to have Jamie and Emil walk in when you get close to the safe. Yeah, there really isn't anywhere else you can hide other than under the desk, basically. So I accidentally turned off the computer and then I turn it back on. I'm thinking that that could have maybe been what he gets distracted by and wants to investigate after he's done talking to Jamie, but he never went over to the computer or said anything. So I don't know what he was trying to investigate, but
Alright. Let me take another look.
Am I right about the detonator?
You're right. Let me get back to the lab and we'll get this thing made.
Good night, Jamie.
so yeah, and like nothing happened, and for some reason he gets up, walks over to there, and sits back down. No idea what he was getting out to investigate. It happened twice, but I didn't know that he was going to do it again. And so I'm thinking I'm going to just go for the safe. I try to go for the safe. I get it open, but just before I open it, he's want to get up and investigate again, and I don't know what caused that to happen. Because you might think that it's the noise of the safe opening, but that's not actually something that he reacts to. So I don't know. He gets suspicious, he gets up, he goes to investigate. But this time, instead of going for the safe, I just go for this filing cabinet. And then I'm got my fingers crossed that when he does do this a second time, that he won't do it a third. I don't know if this was just something that he's programmed to do to make it more difficult to get to the safe. If that is the case, I don't remember it happening. But yeah, he just kind of gets up, looks over towards the safe, and then sits back down. So it very well could just be something he's programmed to do a few times. And maybe I just got lucky and got the safe open quickly enough to where he didn't do it to me while I was in there. But I don't know, because it took me a little while to get the safe open this time compared to the previous attempt. And he never did it, so it's weird. Like, he did it twice and then didn't do it again. Like, it took me so long I even did a blend cut. So yeah, we get that information from the safe about the detonator for the explosive. Then we get off of the balcony and go down. and back over to the bathroom window from Emil's room, or not Emil's room, Enrica's room.
Sam.
And then we
you're just full of surprises, aren't you?
encounter Enrica.
You're not cleared to be up here. I'm gonna have to report
And
this
then
soon.
Mixing business and pleasure can get tricky.
You're telling me.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. Next time, bring flowers. This time, I'll let it slide.
So yeah, Sam gets to have the sexy time in a week through this section. And here,
Hang on. I think I know what I can do here.
they've got the same Chrysler 300 that Lambert was driving, same model. I think the only difference is it doesn't have a license plate on it, so at least they were smart enough to realize they should take that off. They're going to reuse the model.
Try again.
We got a tip that terrorists are going to set off a bomb.
And then I messed up taking this guy out the way I wanted to because I wasn't running at full speed. I kept thinking I can climb up on top of this low wall here, but it just wouldn't let me unless I was standing in a very specific spot, and so I just move on. I just take it the easy way to get this guy eliminated. We've already went through and activated the smoke bomb in that room that was down on the left there. I just didn't keep it in the video because there wasn't much of a reason to. That guy doesn't see me somehow, but this was an example of what I mentioned back in Ellsworth about how sometimes the guards seem like, even though you have the yellow indicator to saying that you're in too much light, you can be like on the cusp still, kind of like how in previous games that had the actual meter for the light. Would do it, but seems like some of those mechanics are still present. It's just they don't
Nice drinks. Nice fish.
always work.
Be careful. They're all over it. I'd suggest not getting detected. There's so many guards around.
I thought about popping open the aquarium with the pistol just to showcase it, but it's not really that interesting of a thing. What I do showcase instead is the jank by doing a corner takedown on this vending machine, and it just completely messes this up, and I thought it was funny.
Say different.
We think we've cornered one of the bombers.
Where?
That's it. That's all I've seen. Honestly, I don't know anything else.
This is no good. I need to check with Emil before we do anything else.
I don't know if there's more dialogue related to that or not. I maybe should have tried to do one more interrogation, but
Done.
That was quick.
Yep. Also hooked the security system up to my PDA. Should be able to access it remotely.
but yeah, it's just sort of just some flavor dialogue, really more than anything. I don't think it has any bearing on
Nothing
any
to do with me. Just using one of
outcomes.
Nathan's programs. See you in a bit.
Here we just wait for a good opportunity to get past this guy. Heard the little camera buzz there. We hear the OSP on it. I probably didn't need to do that because I think from what was mentioned about the cameras, they were just being used by the JPA at this point, and so they weren't actually going to set off any alarms or alert the enemies to my presence. Here I kind of struggle to get past these guys. I could have just waited for their conversation, but I really didn't want to. And so, a little bit of trial and error here. Once again, we use our OSP on the camera, even though I think I don't have to, because if it was going to set off an alarm, it would have, I'm sure.
Civilians. Talking about us. Don't worry.
And finally, we
got some
get
faith
to
I
where
just don't share, my friend.
I actually get in, and then I can showcase that these doors are like really buggy and glitchy, and there's like 2 doors, but it's like actually like 3 doors, and it's really weird. And sometimes if you kind of play around with these guards a little bit, you can get them to where they'll try to open one of the doors over and over and over again, and it will just never open. Thankfully this time they were actually able to go through the doors, and I was able to get past them. But one of the things I cut out was the guards struggling to get through the doors because they just wouldn't open for them, and so that made it possible for me to progress the way I wanted to. So I just cut that out and just move on. So now we're on the upper decks. This area is kind of hard, but for the most part I did this in one take.
Where?
The hardest parts I would say I did in one take, and then the parts that were supposed to be kind of easy I had to do over and over again. But I climb up here, even though in hindsight I should have just stayed down inside the elevator car itself instead of getting on top of it, because I probably could have done a cover takedown on this guy and then just make it easier that way. But instead I opted that I was going to wait up here for this guy to go in and go out. I could have just dropped on him. I don't think I do though. I think I just let him leave. Probably for the best I didn't try to drop on him, because it seems like if I did, Sam wouldn't have actually done it. He would have grabbed onto the edge there instead of going down all the way. So.
Okay, hang on. Hang on. I think I can.
What are you?
Ha! They won't see you if you swim under that.
So Enrica turns on the fountains.
What the hell? Who turned on the fountains?
I think they're automatic.
Just don't get wet. The gun might jam.
Yeah, right.
And again, there's a camera up there. I don't think I need to do this, but I do it anyway just because it's in my mind to do it because of previous games. We jump in the pool, we swim over, we climb out of the pool. Then we go up to the next deck and we go into the steam room. I think we had a little bit of trouble with this guard out here because there's not much places for me to hide. There's no darkness. this is a little bit of a taste of things to come in the game. Unfortunately, yeah. Then we try to use the ultrasonic emitter, but it didn't really work, and he got a glimpse of me a little bit. So we try again in just a few moments. Actually, no, we end up getting a little glimpse of ourselves seen somehow. And I whistle, and then I just do a corner takedown. I was worried he was going to see me, but he didn't.
Your aggressive attitude concerns me.
And that was Sam trying to interrogate the guard. He wasn't saying that in response to Enrica, although it is kind of annoying that she says that about this should be labeled, because it's not labeled. It's just a sliding door with some terracotta tiles inside. I wanted to actually use the split jump offensively here, but that guy didn't walk down the hallway any further than where he heard me whistle from, basically. So I thought I would shoot him instead, but since he had his friend there, I just did, whatever. I'll just have him walk away from me, basically.
I told you I'm not interested. Oh.
And I'm not Paolo.
Oh, hell no. You're one of the bombers.
That's not a term I like. Where's the bridge?
You're a killer. Why would I help? Ah, God damn it. Go fuck. Oh. Front of the ship. It's up ahead through the gym.
So yeah, we go through the changing room here on our right, and then we sneak past a guard. I don't even know why I bothered doing this. It was just kind of funny, I guess.
Nothing yet. Still looking.
We turn that off, and then that guy was just being really slow, and I just decided that even though I wanted to knock him out, he kept just being really annoying with his like patterns and the way that he was going around of investigating every little tiny thing. And so I just decided that it's not even really worth it, so I just go around him and then get into the steam
If you
room.
can get more steam on in here, I could do with a little extra cover.
Wait for the steam to get turned on to high, and then we go into it, and then we go up this water feature here, and then into the vent on top of it.
Sam, change of plans. The Coast Guard is searching the ship top to bottom. We'll need another place to put the bomb. Proceed to the foredeck. You'll have to find a safe spot to plant the bomb there.
I mess up with this guy here because I don't know if I was going too fast or what, but for some reason I crawl out of the vent. I move towards him a little bit, and then he, before I even really get the prompt to like do anything to him, he notices me. I might have gotten too close by accident, but yeah. And then I try to drop him, and I ended up dropping him in a way that he fell on top of me and almost killed me.
Are you sure you want to do this?
I don't exactly have a choice here, Sam. If this doesn't work, Emil's gonna blame me, and that tends to be fatal.
good reason not to break your arm.
I know the code to the navigation room.
Boring, but acceptable.
2112.
Sakurai tells us the code, but I don't think we even use it because I don't think we actually need to for anything. Not to mention, even if we didn't get the code from him, we could have got it from this computer here. Oh yes, I do use the code. There we go. Then I just kind of do something kind of silly here. Instead of just going down the stairs, I just go over the rail. There was probably a reason in my head at the time why I did this, but I'm not exactly sure. I guess it made it to where the pattern, and where the people inside this navigation room, where they were at, was ideal.
Well, that's because there's nothing
Little
fine.
cut there because I had to wait for the guy that was outside of the bridge to come in. Once he came in finally, I had to just wait for him to get to a spot to where I could get around him easily. And then once he was in a position that I could just kind of ignore him, I'd just go for the door and go down the cable to get to
Remind me why we want
the last little section of the mission.
The device. Don't worry, it's a test, no more.
That doesn't strike me as Emil's style.
The boat is nearly empty, Sam. It's just a couple of Coast Guards and a few tourists. It's a small liability. You ever armed a bomb before?
Once or twice.
Good, because you're gonna have to do it without me. Just climb down here. My phone will verify a working signal once you're done. Then we can get the hell out of here.
And how are we doing that exactly?
I've got it covered. You just worry about the bomb.
I object to the way your people have handled this situation.
Well, you can't be too careful with drug dealers.
You're not still telling that same tired story, are you? Everyone knows you're looking for a bomb.
Who told you that?
So we whistle to get that crew's staff member to come over there, and then we use a sticky shocker on this guy.
What was that?
Then we use a sticky shocker on him, and then we just go for the bomb.
Come on.
We have to plant it into here. So we gotta pick the door open, and once we're in there, we go for the objectives inside. Plant the bomb.
I'm done.
Nice work, Sam. You've got an exit route through the side door. I'll see you
Get the frequency.
Whatever you were doing, what exactly were you doing, Sam?
Don't get paranoid.
We just planted a bomb. Paranoid is appropriate. In any case, the signal is strong and you've got an exit point to the water from the side door. Now get a move on.
We open the emergency hatch, which I don't know if this is a thing that cruise ships actually have to this capacity. It seems a bit of an odd concept to basically just have an emergency exit that's just a diving board. I'd like to think that they would have, you know, some kind of a life preserver or life rafts handy instead of this, but into the ocean Sam goes and the mission's over. And I only recorded, this was the only mission I recorded just on its own, because when I recorded I only had the time to do just one mission. So that was the only one that was done on its own. Then part 4, we had JBA 3 and Kinshasa parts 1, 2, and 3. Not much of any real note going on in JBA HQ3. It's just
the bomb is in place.
it was just
and you're
more
in one
sneaking
piece,
around
and
JBA
that's about all I could
headquarters and
ask
just
for.
kind of getting
Come on back home. Emil's
kind of just
gonna
getting a
want an
feel
audience for when he
for
detonates it. And it had better go off. If it doesn't, he's going to
where
be
we
looking
would
for
have to
someone
kind of
blame.
navigate
We're
around
the obvious target.
JBA 4, the final little part of the game, since I wanted to try to keep it fresh in my mind how exactly I needed to go about getting this game finished. And one thing I decided to do is I wanted to record all of the possible choices you can make regarding the bomb, whether you just wanted to jam the frequency but frame on Eureka, which whether you chose either one of those options, they don't seem to, like, Emil will kill Enrica either way, whether you directly framed her by using her frequency to cancel the detonator, or if you used the one that you planted on it in the previous mission. Either way, Enrica gets killed by Emil if you don't let the bomb detonate. So, but obviously, of course, to get that detonation frequency to blame Enrica, I have to get it. So I've got to go to her little work area here and get to her computer to get her frequency.
False alarm, I guess.
Or code, or whatever it is.
How's the detonator looking?
Yep, so we get her disarm code and then we go back out of this room as quickly as we can.
The detonator is in place and working perfectly.
You sure about that?
Positive. Unless we shut it down, there's no way to stop it, and
Here I kind of look at the map, but it's kind of just completely useless to me, since I don't know if it's something to do with the widescreen fix or what, but all of the names and the objectives are all in the wrong spot, so it's hard to tell exactly where I'm supposed to go. And I never really cared for these 3D maps in these games anyway. It's very difficult to understand where you're supposed to go and how you're supposed to get there.
If he does, you can't blame you.
Oh, he'll find a way. Trust me.
So we get out of this hallway here, and then we go to the next area. We have to go, now that we have the fingerprint scanner, we can go and use it to get into the high security hallway. For some reason I wanted to go into the server room, and then I decided I didn't want to go in there because I remembered, oh, there's no reason for me to go there. But I did want to try to get fingerprints, if there were any, and then there were some, so I get these fingerprints for whoever they're for. I think it was for Dayton. And then we go up the main room, and then the main stairwell, we go up that to go into the low security hallway, and then we have to get through that to get to the high security hallway behind the behind the fingerprint lock.
About their reasons.
We go to the pool room, and then we kind of just sneak around these guys.
I think Emil's a patriot, and I trust him.
By hugging the wall and just kind of booking it past him. We used the fingerprint lock.
You're going, Washington.
Gotta get my butt down to the lab to make sure things run smoothly.
And they're calling you?
You know, Moss, I'm getting a little tired of your attitude. I've done hard time for the cause. What have you done besides shoot your mouth off?
I tried to get Jamie's voice recorded, but it didn't really work out. I also tried to get Moss's voice recorded, but it didn't really work out because I messed up and didn't get towards the position I wanted to get towards fast enough. So instead, what I did was I just went to Moss's room, and then I got his personal files, and then I had to hide in his room for a bit because once you enter there, I think he's programmed to walk back to his room from wherever he was previously and work the punching bag. So you have pretty much just enough time to go right for the filing cabinet, get the file, and hide. And I barely scraped by here. I mean, he was in the doorway by the time I got into the into that locker. So then you have to be careful leaving because he's like very attentive, and somehow, some way, even pointing the laser microphone at him makes him suspicious. And then here, once again, I'm trying to figure out where the surveillance room is, because I don't think I ever did this objective because I never understood where I was supposed to go. And so I'm like, okay, I'm lost. Maybe I'm not in the right spot. And then I go back and I mess around for a bit. Finally, I realized that I do need to go in there, and I do need to just get past Moss and the other people there to get to the surveillance room, because I think when I did successfully go back one of the times, that may not be in the video, I did realize where the surveillance room is. It is visible from the main hallway. It's just I kept messing up and didn't get there. So yeah, eventually here I figure it out. But I do go back into the main room and mess around looking for where I'm supposed to go. I think I ended up looking it up, or I looked up what computer I have to look at in the surveillance room. That's what I had to do, because I could not find any other way. Or didn't really know what other computers there were to look on in the surveillance room for the mission objective to obtain visual proof of Bob. But yeah, shortly before the cut there, I realized where I needed to go, so I finally went back up here, and then I finally find out how to get past all this, so use some 2x speed to speed up and get through this, and then get into the surveillance room. And then
with the equipment? Nothing worth mentioning. Pretty damn boring on monitor.
I sneak around and I sneak around, and I didn't know what computer to get on.
Something exciting does show up, I'll be in my office.
Got you, Chief.
We do successfully get Moss's voice recording, and we just look at all the computers because I didn't know which one to look at. And we go into Moss's little work room, office, whatever. And I think we get some personal files out of here as well. We get the office key code for, I don't even know whose office that was for. I don't know if it was Moss's office or what, but anyway, we get some personal files. We go back out of here, but I noticed that he's getting up, so I wait him out. And still don't know which computer. I'm like, I have no idea. Shortly after this little stupidness here, I end up just looking it up, and I reload a save from when I was inside of this area, and then I just go ahead and go for the correct computer because I had an opportunity to just go for it. I took myself into this corner over here for a second, make a quick save, and then I go for the computer. And finally, I hack it, and we are able to see the bomb on the lower or lowest level, the highest secure area of the JV headquarters, and we get on out of here. And I think we actually had to wait out this timer. I didn't really feel like doing any of the other optional things other than making more mines for Kinshasa. There, I couldn't remember if I got that or not, but I did. Out of the high security hallway into the low security hallway, and then back into the main area. I thought about trying to get into Emil's office, and then I decided against it because I didn't know this, but he periodically will go out onto his balcony. And unfortunately for me, I ended up, when I ended up trying to go out from Enrica's bathroom balcony and out, Emil was out there, so it ended up just being a waste of time because I didn't feel like waiting him out to try to sneak into his office, so I just decided to just try to go back, and then I did some more mine making. Yeah, and then once this mine making was done, I think I had to wait out the last few minutes because I didn't really feel like doing anything else. I could have maybe done more target practice, but it's not really something I was wanting to do, so I didn't. So the next minute and a half or so are just kind of these funny little cuts of us just waiting for Emil to say, okay, time to try to blow up the bomb. Well, technically first he wants to see that I cracked that email, then we go back. But yeah, once this is done, yeah, we sort of had these different reactions. We of course did the prevent the detonation with what we planted or did on the bomb in Cozumel with the NSA jammer. Yeah, just by jamming the signal that way.
So what does Masood have to say?
And either way, I mean, either framing Enrica or jamming the signal results in her getting killed by Emil. But ultimately I decided that we'll just blow up the ship. So we blow up the ship and we go to Kinshasa. I kind of mess around the parking garage in Kinshasa, and eventually some guys roll down here and I have to take them out. I couldn't remember where I was supposed to go. I kept thinking I could go ways that I couldn't go.
I don't want anybody to know you're here, not with the rebels in charge. That's why you'll stay out of sight with the weapons
But yeah,
in the truck.
I take out the guys that come down into the parking garage through their truck, and then
Don't leave the parking lot or you'll get shot.
I should come with you.
eventually I do find where I'm supposed to go.
This is different from Shanghai, Fisher. I don't
After
want
running
another bloodbath.
around for like
I can't protect you from
3 or
down
4
here.
minutes.
Alejandro and Masood
I
have
go
been
into
all
like the
over
little
town.
restaurant from the elevator,
Stay here unless I say otherwise.
and then I get to work on trying to safely get past everyone. Up there, for the most part, this was not
Alejandro and Masood are both here,
anything
along with
too
your friend.
crazy. A lot of this
No
was just
idea
sort
why
of
the hell they're meeting up. I can't do anything to risk my cover. So you're gonna
dealing
have to
with the
find out
fact
when
that
they're up to.
there's
What's our next move?
even less cover and even less darkness
It can only be accessed
in
through
this
the roof,
mission.
but I don't know what specific security measures they've taken.
It seemed like a running theme that they wanted to do to make these missions harder and harder progressively was make it to where it was more and more difficult to safely traverse them without being seen, less pockets of darkness, less places to hide, more just having to be out in the open and be exposed. We get through the hotel, we use some sticky shockers on the guys inside the hotel. We go onto the roof of the hotel, we take care of the guys on top of the roof, and then we go down to the meeting room. This section's kind of cool because you gotta get through all these lasers and stuff, and then you can't just drop onto the floor in the meeting room because it's got some like sensors on it, so you can't just drop to the floor. You have to actually go around and get on to the predetermined path basically for this objective to get the bug planted, which I don't know why you have to bug this, because I mean, you still have the laser microphone, but it is what it is. We plant the bug in a flower pot, and then we just sort of wait out the meeting. This sort of Mission Impossible-esque situation where we use a winch to descend down onto this table from above.
Neil, we've got a move.
Then we just have to wait out the meeting for
Which one was it?
these guys to
Right. He's heading through the market towards the palace.
talk over basically nothing. They don't really decide anything. It's just more of a way to advance the plot of this level to the next stage, where Emil goes back to the garage because they find out that one of Masood's guys is a double agent, and they want Fisher to go kill him, but it's Hisham, so we don't want to kill him. And so you know, Emil tells us to go find him and kill him, and then we start the next portion of the level. We see Hisham get into that truck and drive away. We kind of have to wait out these guards, do 2 corner takedowns on them. It's kind of funny how their bodies just phase into each other, and then we just move on. I break this lock because there's not really a reason to pick it. As we can see, we could just climb over the fence, or we can just break the lock. Not really a reason to pick it. I struggled a little bit with this section just because actually getting everything to work the way I wanted it to, as far as not having to get into a firefight, was pretty difficult. do have the shotgun shells ready. I go for this guy, but I don't do it in a very efficient way, but I don't really mind. Then I know I have to get that other guy that was walking around, but he sees me. But I say that's fine. I take him out. Then I stop the execution over here. And then we have to get through this choke point here. I use a smoke grenade to get into cover, and then I take out some guys so I can progress. I go ahead and take him out. Take him out. I missed the headshots on that guy 3 times, 2 times actually. We go up here so we don't have to get blown up by the tank. There's a way you can take out the tank to save a woman hiding on that bus. I threw some grenades at the tank. I don't know where or how you're supposed to take the tank out, so I just sort of decided I didn't care.
I'm not gonna be able to do you any good if I'm dead.
So I go down and just sort of ignore the woman on the bus. Then I had some problems with this section because you're supposed to be able to crawl under the truck, and then Sam will grab onto the exhaust pipe when the driver gets in, but it didn't work. So it didn't work as intended, and so I just sort of made my own way to the enemy camp and then finished the mission.
I'm at the top of the tower.
Didn't kill Hisham because, again, I don't think Fisher would have killed Hisham. But I'm on top of the radio tower. I kind of just looked around to kind of show how poorly they did, like, the area around here, because it's very poorly done. You can see, like, the world edge, and it's very badly done. Anyway, we identify Hisham, and we identify this other guy that's going to kill Hisham if we don't.
Sam, this is Lambert. Don't shoot.
This is crazy.
What? Don't worry. You're the only one who can hear me.
Fisher,
You can save him, Sam.
You're risking giving away my position.
What are you?
I don't care. Shoot him.
I missed the shot somehow.
You had me worried there for a moment. Now, head to the presidential palace. Isham,
There we go.
meet me at the pier after you break him out.
And so, memory serves correctly, if you kill Hisham, the mission pretty much just ends there. Here on this tower, JBA will pick you up on helicopter. If you don't kill, or if you do, yeah, if you don't kill Hisham, if you kill the other guy instead that's going to kill him, The tower gets blown up, and then you have to go through this section, and this section is very janky, very broken. And I tried a few different ways to get the sound to work, couldn't get it to work. So the only sound that there is basically is some basic sound effects and Sam breathing. There's supposed to be more, there's supposed to be some dialogue that plays. Unfortunately, you don't get to hear it because it just didn't work. I tried saving and reloading. I even quit out of the game completely and reloaded to save. Nothing I tried got this mission to work correctly, to get the correct dialogue, correct audio to load. So we just take what we can take with this, and the fact that it even actually loaded the mission is good enough for me, because the original version of the game, it just wouldn't. This mission, I think, would crash. This part of the mission would just crash every time I tried to access it, because it would just glitch. Like even here, I'm having trouble just switching to a grenade. The game just keeps putting the SC 2000 and it will not let me equip the smoke grenade. Finally, we can pick it up and throw it, and it didn't even help me because I didn't throw it in the right spot. So, little jump cut there to the next area, which we end up replaying a few times. I struggled to get through here in such a way that it wouldn't be like an immediate firefight, because part of the problem that I was having was, since I couldn't have the sound, I didn't really know where people were unless I had, you know, the position memorized. So I just kept blundering this up until I finally had an idea of where to expect a guy to be. And I ended up not even noticing that Hisham was there because I was too busy looking around for other guys. I just didn't even like notice that he was there. So we take out that guy. We make sure this is clear. We go back to the palace, and then we find Hisham. After that guy finds us. Finally, I notice that Hisham's there. I free him. There's supposed to be dialogue here between Sam and Hisham. Doesn't play. I run to the alleyway where I can throw Hisham over the wall here. The animation kind of plays, but Hisham doesn't go over the wall. But as far as the game's concerned, Hisham's still alive. So that's that done. And a little teaser for JBA 4. And on that note, on JBA 4, I did both kill Lambert and then get through
You heard what Emil said. You have 5.
JB headquarters to eventually go down into the basement level where the bomb is.
I'm gonna catch up with Emil.
I do like on the path where you kill Lambert, you'll bump into Enrica in the high security hallway next to the elevator down, and you'll get your equipment from her. And of course, if you kill Jamie instead of Lambert, you can just go right into the armory and grab the rifle and the goggles.
Let me help you. I can get you past the retinal.
Sucks that they don't let you have your pistol.
Because Emil's going to detonate the bomb rather
But
than let
yeah, for some reason they don't let you have your pistol. Then we get down into the basement level with the bomb and Emil, and we go ahead and we just take out everyone that we can as efficiently as we can. And
we'll talk when you get back.
We defuse the bomb, and then we let the credits roll. I do have to appreciate the fact that there was a special animation for doing a grab on Emil. There is also one for Moss, but I didn't get to see it because I didn't feel like trying to continue to do everything perfectly with the boat that Moss was on, because it would have just been too long-winded, and I had spent a while trying to get things to work out to where I could grab him, but I just couldn't really do it, so I just said, whatever, we'll just kill him and let that be that. But, yeah, that being said, we just defuse the bomb, the SWAT team rolls in, credits play. One thing I do want to mention about that is
Everybody down! You! Hands in the air!
while the credits are playing, it's got the extra audio about Sam being taken to court and being accused of being a terrorist and millions of people dying because if you kill Lambert, you don't get the opportunity to go after Moss and his bomb.
Sam Fisher, how do you plead?
But the thing of it is, Splinter Cell Conviction made it canon that Sam killed Lambert, but from what I understand as well, he did stop Moss. So how, why it is exactly you can't do both, I don't know, but for some reason the game does not let you do both. It's just a kind of an odd choice and consequence thing. But if you spare Lambert, I think what's supposed to have happened is that Sam will go, and instead of going with the SWAT team, he knocks out a SWAT guy, and then he disguises himself as SWAT, uses a Coast Guard boat to pursue Moss, and then while Moss is stopped at the spot near Ellis Island that he's supposed to meet up with Emil, he gets onto that ship that Moss is on, and he takes out Moss and defuses the bomb on there, but he's still being pursued by the police, so they blow up the ship, and when the epilogue mission ends, we get a to be continued message, but it does not in fact get continued, and I mean in a way it does with Conviction, but it also doesn't, because it doesn't really pick up on anything that happened with this game. So shooting Jamie was kind of cool. Then we get to scan his retinas, and we get to just kind of go around killing people. We get to the armory, get our stuff, and we go and meet Enrica, have a chat with her. There's a custom animation for grabbing her as well. Personally, I think that Sam would end up doing what I do here by grabbing her and interrogating her and then knocking her out. Personally, I think he would do this, but I don't know, maybe he would give her the opportunity just to get away.
Sam, what are you doing here? Your real work, I guess. Let me help you. I can get you past the retinal scanner.
Why?
Because Emil's going to detonate the bomb rather than let the police seize it, and I don't want to die.
I do appreciate that custom animation, though, just because...
Good luck, Sam. We'll talk when you get back.
Don't go anywhere. I'll be right
They
back.
could have easily just not done that, but they gave it its own animation, so it's kind of nice. We go an alternative way here into this flooded section of the basement. And then we, of course, ultimately still have to go into the tube. We kind of just, with impunity, use our fifth freedom to take out these guys. We also use our rifle to take out Emil. I didn't notice it when I was playing, but you know, I only had the one magazine for the rifle, and I ended up having exactly one bullet left after I had done all the shooting I did. Once again, we defuse this bomb. SWAT team comes. We get mission complete, and then it gives us this loading screen. USA, New York City. See the Statue of Liberty. And then we see the Coast Guard boat. A little bit of trial and error here. I tried a few different ways. No matter where you are in this boat, if someone sees you, it's right to combat. Like, there's really no cover, no hiding, no darkness. I mean, even the spots where it looks like it's dark, it's not dark. You're exposed no matter what. Sam is, of course, wearing a SWAT team uniform. So again, I could have maybe looked at the offset to get more details, but I ended up not doing that. But I'm pretty sure that what happened is he takes out a SWAT guy and then puts on his uniform. We take out everyone on the boat, kill Moss. Even though I really don't have to do it, I ended up scanning his retina too. We go up to the bridge where the bomb is. We pick open the front of it. And then we defuse it. As quickly as it can, and then that timer stops, and then another timer starts, because we have 10 seconds to get the fuck off the boat before it gets blown up. And then we see Sam jump in the water, and to be continued. Of course, that's it. That's the end of the game. Not much else really to be said, other than Ubisoft tried to keep the series going with Conviction and with Blacklist. Both games are fun to their own extent, but they just never really captured the luster that I'd say that the first three games had, and then the fourth game kind of had. Double Agent being the fourth game, it just, I don't know, it just kind of didn't really deliver in some areas. Had some cool ideas, some of them were executed poorly, but yeah, not much really going on with the series nowadays. Ubisoft seems to not want to really do anything with the Splinter Cell franchise, because they want to keep doing these open world games that have nothing going on. And Splinter Cell just doesn't really translate that well into an open world environment. I mean, they kind of tried to do that with Watch Dogs, and they tried to do that with Ghost Recon, and both games, again, like stealth action to an extent works in those open world environments, but I think you get the best bang for your buck if you're actually building an area level to level, mission to mission, with the sort of idea of how is a player going to use the tools available to them to navigate these extremely tight scenarios and these extremely circumstantial situations where you may have to end up using all of your tools, or if you're a very patient player, you may have to use none if you're just going to wait everything out. But there's just been a very big shift, unfortunately, with Ubisoft's game design, that they just don't really make games to the way they used to. It's all very much copy and paste. You know, here's an open world game. You're going to have a very bare bones leveling system, so it's sort of like an RPG. And you're just going to try to find enough content there to entertain you for at least 40 hours, hopefully. But yeah, big shift from how things used to be, how they used to make games. But that is it. I'll see y'all next time.